Hi, it's Matt again from Private Provenance. I'm going to take you through a paleo chicken soup tonight. The basic ingredients for this are 6 parsnips, 4 carrots, 1 onion, some chilli, some garlic, any additional bits you want to chuck in there. I've got some spinach, mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes and roughly cut peppers to go in there as well. And the base of it, which is your chicken stock. All I've done to make the chicken stock is a large pan with a stripped chicken carcass in, filled it so it's just above the bones with boiling water, and left it for 2 or 3 hours simmering basically. Bring it to the boil, leave it simmer. Should be left with a liquid that looks this sort of colour, a cloudy colour, which is your chicken stock, which you can use as a base for anything. You can also chuck any herbs, spices, chilli, garlic into that stock as you're cooking the chicken to infuse it. I tend to chuck mine in now as I'm cooking it to keep it all raw. Right, to start this you need to get a pan on the go. Just going to have a little bit of coconut oil in. And the onion. Warm that up. The vegetables I'm using for this, the carrots and the parsnips I've mentioned, I've actually steamed mine. You can boil them, you can do what you want with them to prepare them. I've steamed mine for 45 minutes prior to doing this video, so they're nice and soft and ready to go. We'll bring them into play in a moment. We'll just get this pan going first and get everything heating up. Ideally you need a food processor for this as well, and for the end a large pan for your chicken soup to go into, because you're making quite a bit. We'll probably fill this processor, which is a couple of litres, 1.5 litres of liquid with soup, and it should last you ages. My last batch lasted me for 4 servings, something like that, which is pretty good going, a couple of days worth, which is lovely. Okay, so nice hot pan, looking at just binding a few flavours together. So the onions in there already cut. Add a heap of garlic, which again I've already prepared. Heap of chilli. What we're preparing in this pan is going to be the rough ingredients. So we're going to blend the carrots and the parsnips in here, and the other vegetables I've got there, the mushrooms, the spinach I mentioned. I've got some bacon there as well, which is finely cut, the peppers. I'm going to stir them in by hand afterwards, and they're going to be cooked with this, and they're going to be my kind of texture ingredient, which will be nice. It's a bit bland if you have it all processed. It's just like baby food, so I like something you can bite into, something you can taste the lumps in, which is good. So once you get a little bit of heat in the pan, smell that chilli cooking, it's fantastic. Garlic. I'm going to be adding the ingredients you've got here. So, like I said, a couple of sun-dried tomatoes, bacon, mushrooms, and some roughly cut peppers, which I'm going to have as my kind of lumpy parts of my soup as such. Okay, I've got the pan. What I'm not going to do with this is overcook it. Obviously you want to have your bacon cooked. It's very fine as it is. Just when it's cooked. That chilli soft. As you can see, if you're having a soup with that in it, it's not going to be a bad day at work, is it? It's going to be lovely. If you want to, you can add some additional vegetables to your soup as well. For my recipe, which I'll do as part of the main vlog, what I actually use, I've chucked some broccoli in there. I threw out a broccoli as well, so it adds a little bit of that to it. Keep that cooking for a second. Okay, with the parsnips and carrots I'm going to use, again, and the broccoli, like I said, I've pre-steamed mine there. So that's the 6 parsnips, 4 carrots. You can adjust the batch accordingly, you can divide it by 2. Have a smaller amount, I want this amount, I want to make a big ass batch. Then I can come back to it and I can eat it for days, freeze it, do whatever I want with it, alright? With this, what I've done is I've left out a few pieces of parsnip, a few pieces of carrot and some broccoli, diced it up, I've put it so it's just below a cup's worth, and again, going to add that at the end for a little bit of texture. So I've got some lumps of veg in there as well. It's a smooth vegetable mix, alright? So, all we're doing with the steamed vegetables is load them into your processor. You may find you have too much veg. As you blend it down, it obviously reduces, so I'm going to fill mine up to that sort of level. It'll take a while to blend this. It'll take a while to get it all broken down, but as this is cooking in the background, turn that down a little bit. We don't want everything totally fried. We want to have it just lightly cooked. As you can see, there's no excess fat in there at all. Coconut oil, I use a tiny amount just to literally cover the items gently. You've got some fat on the bacon as well, so some natural fat, so I wouldn't worry too much about any excess in the pan, but like I said, there's no excess oil in there at all, so don't worry about what you're chucking into your soup. Right, so for this, you're not going to be able to for a second, but nice long pulse, and like I said, it will take a minute for the items to break down, and then we'll go through adding your stock. As you can see, the level in there has been reduced quite a lot already. So pan back over, rest of the veg goes in. Right. Bits. With the chicken stock, I did mine last night, giving it an opportunity to cool. You don't even put in hot, boiling chicken stock into a food processor, alright? We're going to leave it cool first of all. You don't want to be using hot liquids in these things. They can expand, obviously, they can cause you issues, they can break things, they can cause the top to pop off and all that. So, the only way we're going to get the rest of this to blend down is take the top off, start to pour in your chicken stock. All you're doing is adding this until you get the consistency that you require, alright? For the initial part, because my tub's quite full, I'm going to whack the entire lid off. I'm not that brave on YouTube to pour it in. So I'm adding a quarter of it, a quarter will do to start off with. It looks gross, but it's not going to be. Whack it on. Give it a good pulse. Starting to come to the consistency you want, but you've got a lot of surface in there as well. You can probably see that from the video. A lot of kind of floating veg as such. While I'm doing this now, I've turned off my ingredients. They're all cooked to perfection. There's no excess oil in there. So we've got peppers, spinach, sun-dried tomatoes and bacon and a few mushrooms with garlic and chilli to add to the soup, and that's going to be our lumps and bumps we eat into, which is going to be delicious. So all I'm doing now is getting my fork, making sure the food processor is turned off, and just pushing down the vegetables that haven't yet been blended into the mix. And the idea is you keep doing that for a few cycles. Lovely parsley hanging outside. Go in. For a few cycles, adding your chicken stock until you get the consistency you require. So again, getting there now, but press it down again. A little bit laborious, but worth it. Definitely worth it. Pushing that down. Now we're getting towards the end of it. I'm going to absolutely smother it in pepper. Nothing better than being at work on a night shift like I work, eating your soup, and you've got a nice peppery bite to it, and some mixed herbs as well in there. I'll probably add some more pepper again in a minute as well, just to give it some real taste. Alright, so that's all pushed down. I'm going to go for a little bit more chicken stock. Okay, lid on. Blend. there now, push down again. Yeah, looking good now, looking good. Soup's a personal preference. Some people like it thick, some like it runny. You know, I'm going to have mine in the middle, I suppose. Add a little bit more chicken stock to it, and that'll be about the right consistency for me. You've got all your lumps and bumps to add in as well, which will thicken it up. One more blitz with this thing. Again, pushing it all down. That's just saying that. That's all right. I'm a happy man with that. So now, remember not to lick your fingers because it won't taste very nice at all when it's cold and yuck. You want to take the container off. That's what we're looking at. If you can see that from tilting it enough. Nice stodgy, chunky chicken soup. All right, we'll get this food processor out of the way. Over our pan. Trusty wooden spoon. Hold your mixing blade, did what I did before, and let it go in there. Ignore the fact that it looks like, you know, cat sick at the moment. It will taste delicious, trust me. Blade. What I do is I'll probably add some more chicken stock in this pan, to be honest, and I've kind of filled the process to capacity. So there's room to add some more in this large pan. Get all your ingredients out. Wooden spoon to mix. Got a trusty spatula here as well to get all this out of here. Don't want to waste any of this goodness. Not one bit. It's gone to quite a decent consistency, to be honest. You've got to bear in mind this is a lot of veg in here as well. Hell of a lot of veg. You've got floret broccoli. You've got six parsnips, 4 carrots as well. So you're getting a lot of goodness out of this. You've got chicken stock. You've got some other spinach and whatnot in there as well. So it's pretty decent soup. Right. So now I'm going to chuck in my lumps and bumps, my texture and such. Like I said, there's no excess fat in there at all. It's all kind of dry fried. Little tiny bit of coconut oil cooked in. And then I'll come over it so you can actually see. And fold all this together, and that looks lush. Right, like I said, yeah, that's looking lush. Nice. Right, add some more chicken stock. It's better to add smaller amounts than too much. You know, you don't want water that tastes like vegetables and chicken. With this, I reckon it's going to be lovely. I'll also be going through another recipe quite soon, which is meatloaf, which you can make with turkey or steak mince, whatever you choose. And those little, you can make it little rolls, and that goes perfectly with the soup. You know, when you're having a little roll and soup, you can't go wrong at all. It's looking great. So as I've gone along, I've added the whole container pretty much of the chicken stock to that. You can see the size of the tub there. I suppose measuring cup wise, I've probably had, yeah, go for about a pint. So a pint or half a litre of stock that I've made up myself. I'll add all of that. As you cook as you heat the soup up, it will lose a little bit of this thickening. So the whole thing's gone in, just the right amount. Generally, when you do have your chicken and you do make the stock for it with the boiling